Here's a little known truth. Getting your mind out of the gutter has nothing to do with how you think. I know. Surprised me too. In fact, it happens to be all about how you sleep. Yeah. And just to be clear, I'm talking about having a dirty mind in the literal sense, not the other kind. You know who you are. The good news is, we humans have the power to influence how well this brain clean operation actually works. And get this, what you're doing right now is likely making a difference. Let's go. Yo, 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 what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Today we were talking about the most powerful brainwash supplement on the market. And when I say brainwash, think of it in terms of car wash rather than mind control, because that's a whole another topic. The amazing thing about this magical intervention is the fact that it cleans and washes your brain each and every time you do it, leaving the oh so wonderful feeling of being refreshed and cognitively sharp for the hours to follow. We are talking about the newly discovered wonder drug, which is high quality sleep. Okay, maybe it's not so new, but there's a whole lot of reasons we should treat it that way, which we'll talk about. Because it just so happens, when we slip into our nightly coma, there's still a lot going on up there, making it a likely reason why the deep biological pressures of falling unconscious for 6 to 8 hours each night has lasted the test of time. Thousands of years of Homo sapien and millions of years of primate evolution. All despite leaving us and every organism that does it, which is basically every living thing, extremely vulnerable to nefarious predators and the boogeyman alike. So we're going to break down, first, why our brain gets dirty, second, the astonishing way sleep cleans up the mess, and finally, the tactical ways to maximize this cleanup time so you can maximize you, thinking and operating to your true potential each and every day. A feat that nobody can do without high quality Z's each and every night. And here's why. It just so happens that being the control center of the body is a high energy business. Despite only representing about 2% of total body weight, our brains account for about 20% of our energy consumption, as it is comprised of around 80 billion neurons, each riddled with hundreds to thousands of energy-hungry mitochondria waiting to carry out the next essential task for life as we know it. You know, like completing your daily Wordle or looking for an argument on Twitter. Important stuff. Now, what is often overlooked is the fact that where there is a lot of energy demand, there's a lot of waste. And in no place is this truer than the brain, as metabolic and neurotoxic byproducts accumulate in our 5-pound mushy membrane throughout the waking day. Explaining why, for many, it's harder to concentrate, think, manage emotions, self-control, and be in an overall good mood the longer they're awake. Think of this as one of the costs of doing biological business, the natural byproduct of having the most cognitively capable mind on the planet. That we know of, at least. So, with that, what exact voodoo biological magic happens each and every night to make all this go away? Enter the Glymphatic System. This recently discovered system gets its hip and happening name from its older cousin, the Lymphatic System, which is a series of nodes, tissues, and organs which filter out toxins from the body. However, what makes the Glymphatic System different and so extremely special is that it's the purpose-built detoxification system for your brain, only becoming active when you sleep. Oh, here's what we currently know. Both animal and human studies have shown that when we enter deep sleep, or the most biologically restorative period of our 24-hour day-night cycle, the brain enters a slow wave or delta wave state. This is the only time during said 24-hour day-night cycle that all of our neurons get on the same wavelength. Kinda like an 80,000 person soccer stadium chanting the home team song in unison. And during this synchronous pulse, cerebrospinal fluid is squirt up into the brain, being pushed through the complex neuronal streets with each and every pulse, elaborately and miraculously washing away much of the neurotoxic waste that is accumulated throughout the day, filtering it down into the lymphatic system to be excreted from the body, and leaving our minds squeaky clean, the opposite of being in the gutter. And although it is not 100% scientifically confirmed, nor is anything for that matter, it's likely one of the main reasons we all feel so damn refreshed after a good night's rest. Pretty effing cool, right? Now you may be thinking, and creating more metabolic waste products in doing so, how come I don't always feel great after a night's sleep? Good question. And although there are a number of potential reasons, a likely candidate is that some lifestyle factor impaired your sleep. And when sleep is impaired, in particular deep sleep, your brainwash turns into a light spray down at best. Kinda like using a squirt gun instead of a power wash, ultimately leaving waste byproducts lingering into the next day. And if these sleep troubles are frequent, lasting months to years to decades, it could very well be setting the stage for bigger problems, starting with inflammation and brain fog, slightly impairing day-to-day cognitive function, but ultimately increase one's risk for conditions such as neurodegeneration down the road, a condition which is projected to affect over 50 million adults in the years to come, which we also do a full breakdown on here. Yikes is right. So how does one sway the odds and probabilities ever in their favor and optimize their brainwash time? Let's talk about it. Good news is, there's a whole bunch of ways, all of which being centered around establishing good circadian alignment, which puts your body in the very best position to get the highest quality sleep and do it consistently. No easy task in this modern 24/7 digital world we live in. And here's why circadian biology is important. Because every single bodily process that we have has evolved over millions of years to be optimized at a certain point or points throughout the day. This daily flux of 24-hour biological operations is known as our circadian rhythms, with some of the main external drivers being the signals of light, darkness, food, and movement. For example, deep sleep, which is the stage of sleep this nightly brainwash happens, has been observed to be primed for optimal function between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. or the first half of the night, typically accounting for somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 hours of our nightly sleep, which means if someone is staying up into the wee hours of the night, they are likely not maximizing their deep sleep time, and thus their nightly brainwash, even if they're still getting 7 to 8 hours of total sleep. This could very well be one of the reasons why shift work studies, which look at health markers for people who are constantly working overnight shifts compared to normal controls, displays a serious negative health impact for the shift work lifestyle. There are also times of the day where we are more optimized to do things such as metabolize food and exercise, all being based off this 24-hour circadian cycle. So the research supports, and I found in my personal life, that establishing good circadian alignment, creating solid and consistent sleep-wake habits to be one of the best circadian hacks we humans can perform. What exactly does this entail? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Creating a routine to go to bed at the same time each and every night between the hours of 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. and waking up 7 to 9 hours later. This has proven to be one of the best things you can do for your sleep quality, and thus your brain. We actually have a whole video on how to fix your circadian rhythms here, walking through how to structure your day for optimizing alignment and thus overall bodily function, including circadian hacks such as getting your morning sunlight and movement, establishing a daily eating window, aiming to finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, exercise timing, avoiding caffeine after 12 p.m., detaching from technology each night, managing stress, because, let's be real, it's one of the biggest sleep killers, understanding the impact of alcohol on sleep, here's a hint, it ain't good, and creating an optimal sleep environment, aka managing artificial light, keeping your room cool, dark, and focused on sleeping, not scrolling your phone. Again, easier said than done. And since we're on the topic, one of the top hacks that I've implemented in this regard over the last 10 years has been putting my phone on airplane mode an hour before bed each night and not turning it back on until I'm done with my morning rituals the next day, which include hydration, movement, sunlight, and meditation. And I kid you not, it has been a total game changer because the facts of the matter are that our modern day societal norms are very much working against us when it comes to getting good quality sleep on a consistent basis. For example, let me remind you of this breakdown, highlighting how more ultra-processed eating, a very common thing in this day and age, is associated with worse sleep quality. And worse sleep quality just so happens to lead to more ultra-processed eating. A vicious cycle indeed, but just one of many examples where these norms are stealing our biological potential. The potential to feel effing awesome each and every damn day, rather than the sad reality of gradually feeling more and more tired, lethargic, physically impaired, sad, moody, and depressed, falling back on the societal excuse that this is just what happens when you get old, which couldn't be more straight up bullshit. It's the byproduct of not putting your pretty cool meat suit and 5-pound mushy membrane in a position to do its thing, not prioritizing movement, real food, nature, circadian alignment, and good sleep on a daily basis, and not owning your health. It really is a sad script that continues to play out for so many of us on this beautiful floating rock. A script which, thankfully, for most people at this exact point in time, still has a nice chunk of blank pages left. So grab your pen or laptop and get your beautiful mind out of the gutter already. I mean, come on. Spent enough time there. Let's get it out. Clean it up. Wash it up. Good cleaning.